Alright, I'm right in the middle of a project and I needed to do some sharpening on my chisels and one of my planes, and I figured this would be a good time to show y'all how to get your tools nice and sharp. And I'm going to treat this like these have never been sharpened before. I have a whetstone here with a 400 grit and a 1000 grit side. So to start off, I'm going to take some water in a spray bottle here and get the stone good and wet, kind of wipe and rub it in. And as you can tell, it's soaking up the water pretty good. So we're just going to keep applying water as needed and let it soak in some. Ideally, it'd be great to have this stone sit in a plastic container and soak up some of the water in that. That's one of the best ways to prepare your stone, but for the purposes of this video, this will be good enough. Alright, I got my 1/2 inch chisel here. As you can tell, the edge is still pretty sharp, but I'm getting ready to do some mortises and some white oak, and that stuff is unforgiving. So we're going to start off here on the 400 grit side and register the back of the chisel on the stone, and we're just going to start trying to flatten the back of it off. This isn't as important in my case right now because I've already done this several times, but for a new chisel or plane iron, whatever you might be sharpening, you might have to take a few minutes. I've actually done it as long as 10, 15, 20 minutes before to get the back good and flat. And really, you don't need the whole thing to be perfectly flat. You want the edge and most of the back to be flat. So as you can see up here, I've got a good flat spot, and way back here and on both edges of the chisel the whole way down, I have a flat spot registering. That'll give me a good flat edge on my mortise. So do this just a little bit more, and before I flip my stone over, I'll go ahead and hit my plane iron too after I finish with the chisel. Get a little bit more water. And to sharpen a chisel or anything else, you want to start way below what the bevel is. Tilt the chisel up until it registers and pull. You never want to push the bevel into your stone or you'll gouge it. And it might look like I'm pushing the bevel into it now, but I'm letting up pressure on it and easing it up and polishing off the whole bevel. And now this will only take a few passes for me because I've doctored this chisel plenty of times in the past. But you'll start to see a little wire form across the edge of the chisel. And we will take care of that wire. See, I can feel it on there. I don't think you can see it, but I can feel the wire on there. Hit the back one more time. Yeah, you can feel the wire on there. So, plane iron, this is from a Stanley number 4. We're going to start off doing the same thing. Hit the stone with some more water and start flattening it off. And as you can see, I'm using one end of the stone. Generally, you want to try to even out your use because whetstones will wear and you can wear a divot into them. This plane iron could actually use a lot more flattening than what I'm going to do to it today. So I'm going to show you a little hack that you can do. For a plane iron, you really only need the bottom section of the iron to be flat. And you can do this by doing what I am here. You just polish the bottom inch or two of the blade. And as you can see where my flat spot is, all the shiny areas, and you can see where my low spots are. Really, I should keep doing this. It'd probably take me another 10 or 15 minutes to do it, to get this good and sharp like I should. Let's see here. Yep. We're starting to get a nice shiny spot all the way across right there at the edge. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to call that good enough, just so we can move on with the sharpening. And the same thing with the chisel. You'll want to start off laying it flat, bringing it up until it registers on the bevel, and drag backwards. And I'm going to do the same type of pull, let down, push, raise, down, raise, and pull to sharpen this. Sharpening is pretty easy to do freehand. There are a lot of jigs that you can get to help get a constant, perfect bevel. I've never personally used any. I learned how to do sharpening like this a long time ago when I first got into woodworking. And if you can sharpen by hand, you can sharpen anything. So as you can see, we're getting pretty good and sharp the whole way across. I'll set this aside for now, and I'll be back with you once I flip this stone over. Alright, I got the stone flipped over and we're on the 1000 grit side, as you can tell right there. And to start off, we're going to go right back into hitting the back side of the chisel or the plane iron. And after hitting it on the 400 grit side, you shouldn't have to do this very much at all. That's actually plenty right there. So now I'm going to register the bevel and start sharpening. And you'll want to spread your use of the stone out over the whole surface. That way you don't create any unneeded low spots. And you can't see it, I don't think. But I can feel that wire going all the way across the edge. We'll set this aside for stropping. We'll come back, hit the stone with a little more water, and do the same thing with the plane iron. A little bit more. That's pretty good there on the back side of that. Starting to look pretty good. And I can feel the wire the whole way across this. So we're going to move a stone out of our way and bring in our strop. So, strop is nothing more than just a piece of leather with some white buffing compound on it. And this has plenty of compound on it, but I'm going to load it up again. And you'll start off, come over here to the edge of my table, and you'll pull backwards. And this will help get the wire off the back side. And it doesn't matter how many times you do it. You can do 5 times, 10 times. I always find the more the merrier. As you can see here, we got a pretty good polish on the bevel, and we've gotten the wire off our edge. And that is scary sharp. Set that aside. We'll do the same thing with our plane iron. Come back over here. Hit it on the back one more time. As you can see, we got a good polish on that now. And these are both scary sharp again. So, in a matter of minutes, you can go from a dull, almost useless tool to a scary sharp and ready to go again. Catch y'all next time.